Once more kid, I realized that karma generally tracks down her direction, yet I didn't expect Amy Rook's and TJ Holmes' karma to hit this quick. TJ is betraying Amy as of now and is likewise envious of Blemish Leaf Big and Andrew Shue's relationship. Not the way that I figured we would be. Beginning 2024. Yet here we are, new year, new TJ, or rather standard. Worn out TJ, okay. You all realize that digital broadcasts that Amy and TJ said they would send off, the one that a ton of you all said that you would be over dead standing by listening to. Well, a couple of episodes have dropped as of now, and the two have been spilling their own tea as it appears there could be inconvenience in heaven. As of now, individuals are taking a gander at TJ sideways for purportedly betraying Amy. This is kindness of one episode where they talked about how they each handle contentions, or what they called hiccups, when they emerge about once 7 days as a matter of some importance. Once 7 days, is it typical for kook? Less to contend in a real sense consistently. Now, I previously thought contending consistently is terrible, yet hold on until you hear how TJ handles what is going on. I'm ridiculously awful about this. I don't shout, I don't holler, I don't name call, I don't might get forceful, and only I will. Look at, and you must hold on until I get it. I needn't bother with you to say I'm sorry, I needn't bother with you to assist me. I with managing it, and I'm attempting to get better at doing it speedier yet That's right. He simply looks at, and let's get real here for a minute. Looking at each time you have a contention with somebody is giving, needing to get the advantage genuinely. TJ additionally said that he especially lashes out at how responds at the time, and as per him that has a significant effect on the grounds that at that time they get an opportunity to go along these lines or like that. Yet Amy apologizes following 24 hours, evidently on the grounds that the conciliatory sentiment is deferred. He looks at. And when I express looks at, I don't intend for a couple of hours, by the way. Evidently TJ as a rule looks at for 2 days in any event. And Amy uncovered that when she said it's 2 days, essentially I would prefer to have him shout at me than freeze me out for 2 days. I'm similar to I don't have the foggiest idea what to express, what to do, what he thinks. Fast math on the off chance that they contend 1 time per week and TJ needs to look at for 2 days, that would actually intend that for no less than 3 days and 7 days. They are not on great conditions, which would leave us with the inquiry. So what does TJ do during that period when he is looked at, or where does he go? Might he at some point do exactly the same thing he did to his ex? Is betraying Amy currently all thing considered? That is without a doubt a warning that TJ is either previously cheating or is intending to. And they are not sorry on the grounds that, honey, we are as yet not over the shame that TJ and Amy put their exes through. Man, it is great to have you. It's great too. It's strange to such an extent that I see you all the time. It seems like in any case, so it's great to have you in the studio here. I simply need to say I'm so glad for you all. This is an astonishing show. The undertaking was affirmed when today, Mail got their hands on a bunch of extremely shameful pictures that plainly showed TJ and Amy in sketchy positions. I mean, it was very clear that someone had presumably recruited a private specialist, in light of the fact that the HD photographs of them traversing from around a month showed how they partook in a comfortable bungalow and settled up with their rental. TJ was even captured snatching Amy's behind as she got together the vehicle. Really, this situation could never have blown over, assuming they had isolated from their companions calmly and continued on conditions they generally settled on. It is the way they walloped their accomplices and snuck around that just made this whole circumstance humiliating. Now, both Amy and TJ said in one of the first web recording episodes that they knew something different was developing between them throughout the late spring of 2022. Recall, when the undertaking show initially began, a source told Individuals magazine there were reports they were having an unsanctioned romance about a year prior. Many individuals accepted there could have been a reality to it, since you can see there's a common fondness there, yet everybody at last credited it to their fellowship since they consistently said they were both cheerfully hitched. Another source affirmed that the issue had likely been happening for quite a long time, since doubts had been at a record-breaking high when they traveled to the UK for the Sovereign's burial service back in September 2022. As per the source, they were loving as they sat tight for their baggage, yet they didn't kiss yet in spite of flying business class with a gathering of GMA representatives. They likewise did don't attempt to conceal their friendship and remain nearby each other the whole travel day, yet Here's what the undertaking didn't begin in 2022. It began manner before conceivably even in 2017. Supposedly Robin Roberts even pulled them both aside about it, yet obviously Jay denied being engaged with Amy, yet something was continuing, and they kept on facilitating their exes on the show, and even continued twofold dates with them, knowing very well the thing was occurring, frightful to exacerbate the situation. In the months after TJ and Amy's swindling outrage, the two were captured all around one another while on various getaways and going around the city. They were straightforwardly making out openly, with reports saying that TJ's ex Marilee had been observing all of that and she found it profoundly hostile. And as of late, there were additionally reports that Amy and TJ were filthy moving at a wedding. The humiliation recently continued to deteriorate, yet it was inevitable before karma came. Unthumping, and the warnings in Amy and TJ's relationship are showing. So other than saying he looks at for 2 days after contentions in the webcast, TJ and Amy additionally discussed the chance of getting hitched, and Amy said the two of them have 2 weddings under their belts. It's not something they ought to rush towards, yet TJ by and by offered an incredibly disagreeable response. No doubt I need to wed you since you are 50, and I'm 46, and you needed to point that extremely tired of presenting. GUA 50 ye elderly person. This is my sweetheart. That sounds dumb. Like, did he in a real sense say that it sounds moronic to present a 50-year-old as his better half? And for that reason he needs to wed her pronto. Well, not unexpected. Thinking about this is likewise the very man who offered comments suggesting that he was the very most terrible to Marilee in a post where he lauded Marilee for remaining with him regardless of his deplorable acts, adding that he had given her a lot of motivations to leave, yet she remained, which was all on account of her in person of color superpower. Like, what does that even mean? People of color should remain with their tricking accomplice. It's giving particularly harmful, and with TJ offering bizarre remarks again, with Amy, devotees are persuaded that this is a separation in the works. Clearly TJ is likewise really desirous of what is happening among Andrew and Marilee, in light of the fact that while his relationship with Amy has all the earmarks of being tumultuous as of now, Andrew and Marilee are thriving in theirs. Recollect when Amy and TJ were all over embarrassing Marilee and Andrew. They began chipping away at a task with a nearby source in any event, saying by seeing Blemish's name on a warning load up within Shue, an unmistakable assertion has been made. It would raise an eyebrow to see that both individuals that Amy and TJ were hitched to are currently cooperating. That additional kicker is that Andrew and Marilee are chasing after something that possibly could find success. Maybe they are saying, great, what is the most ideal way to get back here? On the off chance that you have debate around you, why not incline toward it and influence it, which they have now? Achievement could likewise be a definitive vengeance, yet by the days. And the best retribution is business progress. On the off chance that you didn't have a clue about this joint effort transformed into something heartfelt, as close sources revealed that Andrew and Marilee reinforced over their horrible experience of their individual separations, whether TJ and Amy truly undermined them or just suddenly begun dating just subsequent to requesting a separation. Andrew and Marilee have clearly rested on one another for help all through this, to such an extent that they are all supposedly not shattered or miserable any longer, rather founded on numerous sources. Their relationship transformed into something different months prior, and they're presently associated over the air qualities. The day-to-day male figured out how to get the main group of the photographs of Andrew and Marilee, which emphatically looked like its broad documentation of Amy and TJ's relationship. Like, there were even photographs of the new couple loading up Andrew's Jeep with 2 felons for an end of the week escape. The relationship certainly caused both Amy and TJ to feel some kind of way, on the grounds that Amy was allegedly persuaded that Andrew and Marilee purposely set up for the news dropped that very day that their digital broadcast emerged, and was enraged that her ex was attempting to beat her to the punch after all the shame she put her ex through. She was furious that he was attempting to beat her to the punch. Kid child, this entire circumstance actually has individual smoldering. Yet what do you think about TJ Holmes looking at for 2 days consistently during contentions with Amy? Do you think this is an obvious indicator that the relationship won't work? And what do you think about TJ and Amy probably being desirous of Marilee and Andrew's relationship? Let me in on in the remarks segment underneath.